crowdsource ideas for their Venus rover concept, and there's a competition where you can enter designs. And so I was just looking to see if other people were interested to maybe get a group together to work on a submission. So if you're interested, email me or see me. So we'll see. Thanks.
So the chess tournament is going to be this week and next week. The first rounds of the round robins will be on seating, so if you still want to sign up, please let me know as soon as possible. It'll be round robins, and the winners will advance to another group. And the first place winner of the chess tournament will get a $50 prize. And the second place and third winners will get $20 and $10 or something.
Asian Culture Club meeting today at lunch in the Chinese room. Thank you.
Everyone's differences make them unique in many ways. We often try to become friends with people that share interests with us. We bond in life when we hang out with friends or go on class retreats. It is during these times that we learn about each other and become closer friends. Last summer, when I went on a family reunion in Japan, I spent time bonding with someone very special to me. I became really close to my little cousin. Because our families live in 2 different countries, I hadn't seen or talked to him for 10 years. You might think that becoming friends with him would have been easy, but there is a barrier that made it hard for us. He does not speak much English, and French is his fluent language. He has lived in Lyon, France his whole life, and being 11, he's only been taking English classes long enough to know the basics. Before meeting him, I wasn't sure how much English he spoke. When I saw him at our first breakfast in the hotel, I awkwardly said bonjour, and he leaned in for la bise, the French greeting where you touch cheeks and kiss. I, on the other hand, went in for a hug. I felt sort of embarrassed that I was different than him and didn't do things the same way. I thought that because of our language and cultural differences, I'd be cut off from any further bonding. As I'd only taken 1 year of French, I hadn't seen or talked to him. I wasn't able to talk to him that much, so instead he had to use his knowledge of English to communicate with me. He also had to deal with 5 younger cousins who weren't aware he didn't speak English fluently. They'd constantly talk to him, assuming he understood every word, even though it was only a fraction of it. I was there to help him and be his translator, even though I mainly use Google Translate. A memorable moment was spending a day at Tokyo's Disneyland. I spent the whole time going on rides and talking to him while we waited in lines, which seemed like forever. This was when I really started to bond with him. As a family, we'd all eat together and spend time talking and doing karaoke with their grandma. By the end of the trip, it felt normal seeing him every day. It wasn't until the moment he said goodbye in his French accent, and as I watched him leave on the bus, I really felt the connection. It was then I realized how close we had gotten. With my French cousin, I built a bond that really felt like family rather than just friends. We spent 2 weeks helping each other with our foreign languages and breaking the barrier that almost stopped us from bonding. We didn't let our differences cease our time together. Instead, we spent it as if we had no differences. Because our families live in 2 different countries, we learned about each other's cultures and languages, and learned to continue to be family even though we live almost 6,000 miles apart. Everyone has probably found themselves in a position where it's hard to become friends with someone because of different interests or beliefs. But to become friends, we don't need to be exactly the same. Building a bond can be difficult when we believe we have fundamental differences, but in reality, building a bond is easy, because breaking the barrier, all we have to do is understand and accept the differences that make us unique. Thank you.
We have a lot of extra time if Mr. Colby wants to come up and tell us. Wait. Colby? Three quick things. My dog, Sydney Bear, is on campus today. She's been off campus for a little while. If anybody would like to come pet a dog that is half Wookiee, half Ugg boot, come on by the office. She's been groomed recently and would love to see you. Secondly, if you are a sophomore, course planning today at 3 o'clock. Mr. Partlow and I have a lot to share with you about exciting opportunities at York School for next year, and we look forward to seeing you promptly at 3. Feel free to come in early. You don't have to wait until 3 o'clock, and please come to the front of the room. Your parents may be joining us. That's exciting as well. Finally, I just wanted to let you know that the York Honor Roll and High Honor Roll first semester is posted on the York website. Thank you for your patience. And a reminder that one of the reasons that we celebrate the Honor Roll is that it is a reflection of your engagement and your commitment to your studies at York School. And it's also a mid-year celebration. So if you are on this year's honor roll or high honor roll for first semester, or if you maybe just narrowly missed it for a certain reason, we look forward to you engaging with all of your courses and teachers and your studies through the second semester so that you can be on the end of year honor roll again, or for the first time. If you are on the honor roll for the first semester, we commend you for your success and achievement. Congratulations.
All right, so just a reminder, those of you in particular path groups, please bring $2 to $5 or more if you're feeling generous, and you have the means to do that. To donate to the Rice and Beans purchase, we've collected $65 so far, but I would like to collect at least $550 that would purchase 1,000 pounds of beans and rice the first event. So, if you're in the following path groups, please bring your money by this Thursday, our next path day. Ms. McDowell's, Ms. Oldfeld's, Mr. Raymond's, Ms. Traxel's, Ms. LaPie, Mr. Wilcox, Mr. Williams, and Ms. Williston's groups. Thank you.
So I had two quick announcements. This afternoon, I'm going to be leaving for Philadelphia for the National Association of Independent Schools Conference. It's a conference that leaders all over the world come annually, and they learn about trends in the industry, and I wanted you to know that since I won't be here the rest of the week. I just wanted to make sure you didn't think I just disappeared and wasn't coming back, so I will be gone the rest of the week, back on Monday. And then second, across the way, in the outdoor lab, when you walk up the hill towards the soccer field, you'll see on the left-hand side there's some trenches that are being dug, and in about a week or two, there's actually going to be a solar tracker installed. Two very generous donors have purchased a solar tracker for the school. It will be very visible when you walk into the outdoor lab, and it's a way for us to save some energy, as well as hopefully become part of the curriculum in your science classes. So look for that, but make sure you stay away from the trenches. I don't want you to fall in the trenches. And then it is marked off. It'll be very clearly visible, but especially if you're on the track team, just make sure that you watch out for that. Okay? All right, thanks.
All right, so we have exec at lunch in room 3.
Yeah, go to class.